welcome to Mono Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and growing so fast she needs a new CGI face every 10 minutes is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
Why did they do that?
Well, I really don't know. Like, what's wrong with just hiring like 3-4 different kids to play her at different ages? They literally did
have a load of kids, and then they just put
they had like 12 or something. They
did like
composited their faces or something. You were saying
they composited her like pictures of Kristen Stewart as a kid and pictures of like Robert Pattinson as a kid. They composited those together as well. And then put them over Mackenzie Foy, because she actually looks quite a lot like...
I've never once...
Yeah, there was
better uses of that great budget. Casting.
Yeah.
Because they look like they could be that person's kid or parent.
Yeah.
But I've never once thought that's terrible casting. They look nothing like that person at all. Like, I would have just been fine with just a normal child actor.
Yeah.
Being the baby and then being, you know, at 2 or 3 and then 1 at 10 or 11.
Like, older.
Like, yeah, like, what the fuck? That... Anyway, it's
well,
the last film.
You've seen the really, really funny bad one where, like, with the jowly face.
There's 2 or 3 points where it's really, really bad, and other points it's just noticeable in the sense that it absolutely breaks your suspension of disbelief, and you're just like, why did they do this? Why?
Look at the weird vampire.
Why? But it's the last one.
It's the last one, thank God.
And I know I said the last one was a bit of a nothing film, but weirdly, the last one was a nothing film, but a bunch of things did happen.
Yeah.
And this one, only like 1 or 2 things happened, but it feels like there's a lot more going on. Because really, it's just, she's a vampire now. Then the Volturi find out about the baby and are coming for a confrontation. That's it. Like, that's the plot.
But then they gather all the vampires.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on around it.
That's the whole thing about, like, this would have been what they are remaking as a TV show. Because when you look into everyone else's, like, backstories, because there's a load of lore for this. But it's everybody else.
Yeah, because you only, like...
There's no real lore for Edward. He was just, like... He was turned and then he whinged around the place.
Yeah, but even like, that we got more...
The Romanians are super fun when you look into their backstory. The Romanians are just super fun anyway. Fucking Kate bloody chocolate.
Yeah, they're
bad accent.
They're bad accents and his bleach blonde hair, like...
Yeah.
But, no, I don't want to say I enjoyed this one, but, like, there is a plot, there is action. The Volturi, which I like, are in it.
Oh, Marcus.
I do. I enjoy the Volturi, but again,
but that's what I mean. Like everything else to do with not the Cullens themselves.
We always like a good, well built world.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying the world was well built in this, but it certainly feels like there's an awful lot more that we could dive into. A lot of it, I think, it has the fans have built a lot of this stuff as well. I love lore.
Yeah.
In my series that I enjoy. Like, I love Stargate lore, I love, like, various video game lore, and I like that. Like, when you have big, fleshed-out worlds, and it seems like there is more in the books.
You're a fan of Bioshock.
Yeah, but it seems like it seems like in the books there is history for the Romanians, there's history for the Volturi, there's history for the rest of the Cullen family. Like, so that's the sort of stuff that I appreciate and probably would do better in a TV series.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff that I did sort of enjoy about the Twilight films. I think I said it last week that they picked the least interesting relationship to focus on in the entire series of cast of characters.
Like, that's what I'm on about, because when you look into other ones and like the history of some of the other ones, like the stuff that the fans have like put up online.
Well, like fan fiction.
Some of it's fan fiction.
Or do you mean like wiki stuff?
Some of it's wiki stuff as well, and then things like that she's said in interviews and like been asked to elaborate on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything to do with like the Volturi Romanians.
Like there's good stuff in there, but the thing is,
the vampire children thing is really interesting.
All that comes from the books, so it's not like I can give any credit to the filmmakers for it. You know. But shall we do one final summary? And then launch into the last film. It's the last film of the series. Yay!
Woohoo!
And Bella's finally a vampire. And also forever a teen mom. But it's a bit more complicated than just mommy, daddy and baby makes 3, as Bella discovers her former suitor Jacob has imprinted on newborn Renesmee. To make matters worse, the Volturi think the new baby violates their highest law and are coming to Forks for a final film showdown.
Woo! Except we don't really get one.
No, we get a final film showdown fake out.
Yeah.
And
it is. I'm not mad at it.
No, because we still get to see it on screen. It pissed me off. I'd say it pissed me off more.
Marcus.
It'd piss me off.
It's the highlight of that.
It would piss me off more, I'd say, if I was reading it in a book and it was in the book, like, and then Alice showed.
No, it's all described.
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't annoy me as being a fake out. I knew before I watched it that the whole final battle was a fake out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I would have twigged it anyway. because there's absolutely like no weight to a lot of the deaths of characters that we followed
No,
for 4 or 5
like
films. So you'd be like, this isn't
especially
real.
when you see the way they react to Irene or Irina, year one, who goes to the Volturi, the way the sisters act when she dies.
Yeah, because that's an actual in-world death.
Yeah.
It's not part of the vision. Like, yeah, because her death has weight to it, and her her sister's reaction is like, in kind.
Yeah.
But when Carlisle dies, it's just like, oh look, he's dead. He's decapitated. There's his head hanging off. It's fine. Let's just move along.
Esme is having a freak out, but that's about it.
Yeah, they do. It's not like in other TV shows where a character, you're supposed to think a character is dead, but they're obviously not, because there's literally no weight put to it whatsoever. It's like, oh yeah, they're going to show up at the end of the episode.
Like in Supernatural, it's like, oh look, they're dead again.
Well, no, more like in Stargate's particularly guilty of it.
Daniel Jackson's dead.
Well, yeah, but like particularly with him, it'll be like he gets shot and he's like, leave me behind, and they just run off and leave him behind straight away. And it's like, oh, he's going to be fine by the end of this episode. And lo and behold, he shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I found a sarcophagus, I'm grand.
Yeah.
They add a bit more weight to it than that, but you're still, I don't think I would have been convinced. But that's the end, so we'll start at the start. And it starts with no Bella talking.
No.
Which at first I was relieved by.
That kind of pissed you off.
And then I got annoyed by it, because I was like, yes, bonus, there's no Bella talking. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a second, like, you've 5 films, and the first 4 films open with her talking.
Yeah.
Okay, the last film opened with something, and then her talking. Or maybe the film before. Oh, yeah, the third one opens with Riley getting taken, and then it's her talking. But every film opens with her talking. But this, maybe they were trying to make a point of
well, she starts the film dead.
Well, no, she starts the film. She's already.
You could have just reprised the very first one of Violent Delights Meet Violent Ends.
No, I'm saying unless they're trying to do, because the whole first scene with her is her like being staring around at everything and being all like, "Oh, look, I can see everything and I can hear everything super clearly." So
but she's always given like a little like narration prologue type thing at the start of each one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The only reason I can think that they didn't is because they're trying to get that point across. But I'm like, that point is obviously gotten across already, and. No, don't do something 4 times and then not do it the 5th time. And it's just stupid. But yeah, she's just looking around.
I did like the focus in on things, like that's how they illustrated how like sharp her senses is.
Yeah.
When it focuses onto the paper and then right in, you can see the indent on the page.
Yeah.
But she gets over it remarkably quickly. She's got, like she says, she's like, oh, I got super self-control.
That
woo.
Well, I mean that comes a little bit, and that annoyed the shit out of me.
I did like her running up the cliff though.
That
was cool.
But we're skipping ahead, and not that I want to dwell on these films, but she beats on Ed for a little bit because she doesn't realise she's all strong when she gives him a hug, and he's like,
that's funny.
Yeah, she's all obsessed with him, and then he's like, hey. Do you want to see that baby you just had? And she's like, oh shit, yeah, I had a baby, didn't I?
Yeah.
And briefly sees... Oh no, he's like, no, we better go and...
We need to feed you first.
And they go off for a hunt.
Newborns are hungry.
Yeah, that
we get a reprise of the running through the forest. At least they're not in the stupid get-ups this time.
No, sorry, that's not what annoyed me. The initial bit of the hunt is fine. It's just after everything when she runs off to get the other vampire.
Yeah.
Or sorry, to get the other human.
Yeah.
And she's like... overwhelmed by the sense of human blood and the desire for it, and I'm like, cool, okay, yeah, she's gonna have a bit of a challenge. And then no, Edward catches up with her and is like, wait, and she's like, I need to get out of here, and jumps off and goes and kills a lion.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I have so many problems with it because I was like, I think I have a problem with this. And then Edward's like, I know, seasoned vampires who can't turn themselves away from human blood as well as you did. And you're a newborn who hasn't even fed yet. Oh my God, you're so amazing. And I was like, yeah, that's where they were going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, like, it's
he just spends the whole film being like, isn't she magnificent? Even when they're really like, you should be intervening.
See, I don't mind that so much because it's him.
Yeah.
And it tracks with everything that we've seen. He was obsessed with boring human Bella. He's going to be extra obsessed with sparkly vampire Bella.
Yeah.
No, it's just that throughout the whole film, she's just shown to be the best vampire ever.
Oh yeah, she's like,
it's just so
she's
bad.
Able
like
to be around Charlie, and she's able to like.
It's not a term.
With the community.
It's not a term that I like to use often, but like they Mary Sue the shit out of her in this. Like they really do.
I just like the fact that her fashion sense changes entirely as well.
Does it?
Yeah, because she's always been like jeans and whatever, like teenager.
She's in like dresses and shit. Because she's a responsible mom.
She's
now.
a married wife and mother.
She's a teen mom, but yeah, she's all super restrained and it's annoying. And
well,
then
she did get married before, so you know.
She's still a teen mom.
I know she's still a teen mom.
But yeah, she runs away from the dude and kills a lion instead. And I'm like, even that annoyed me because A, you're killing a lion, which I had an issue with in the last one. But then I realized
protected species.
But then I realized in the last episode that they didn't actually kill any bears or lions because the whole thing about them being hungry the whole time.
Yeah.
So they were going to kill those lions and bears if they caught them, but they obviously didn't catch them because otherwise they wouldn't be saying you haven't eaten in weeks because they would have eaten lions and bears. But she catches a lion on her first hunt.
Yeah.
Again, she's just such a good vampire. And it's just like, oh, fuck off.
I did like the one shot where she comes around the tree. That I always like that half-peak peek shot.
Yeah, it was particularly good at 1.5 speed as well.
Yeah. Actually, watching this whole film at 1.5 speed, they speak at a normal cadence.
Yeah, we said that last week. It was definitely more enjoyable for the second watch.
Her freak out on the cliff face when she just kind of growls at him and then jumps off at 1.5 speed is so funny.
It made it a much funnier film, alright. But yeah, so she eats a lion.
They do all the things.
And they go back and Jacob shows up.
Waiting outside and she's like, why the fuck are you still here? Because, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, Edward's like, don't tell her. Maybe don't tell her just yet. Like, but he's like, again, it's one of the, my whole, I thought I was Team Jacob. I'm Team Nobody in these fucking films. But his biggest problem is good intentions, terrible way of going about it.
That's the problem that's the problem with everything in this film. Like, Edward has a massive case of brain fart later on.
Well, no, it's just Jacob the whole way throughout it.
Yeah.
He's like trying to force himself on Bella. Then he just makes bad choices, even though he's got good intentions. And he's
16.
Was he 17 or 18
He's 17 now, I think. But like,
oh, well, weren't you saying this whole series only takes place across
months.
like 2 years?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But yeah, he's like...
she arrives for junior year. Their juniors, seniors graduate.
Yeah, here's like, hey, it's my friend who thought she was going to die delivering her baby, is now actually alive, undead, whatever, and is wanting to see her baby that I've imprinted on. Maybe I shouldn't be such a dickhead about it and be like, oh, I don't know if you're ready to see your own baby. I know it's coming from a good place. When he
starts with it being like, if you can stand the smell of me, you can be around her.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That makes sense, and that's when you get the whole, they're right, you do stink.
Yeah, but when he's like...
And he's like, I didn't expect you to be so you.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, dude, what did you expect then?
Well, he was obviously expecting her to change. I think that was his... I think that's a little bit of an olive branch from him.
Yeah.
In that, like, hey, I know I said some horrible stuff about you when you would turn into a vampire.
But was he expecting her to be like a bloodthirsty monster like the other newborns they'd come across who were just like giving in to...
Yeah, but they go inside, she has the baby for a minute, and then Jacob's like, that's enough fucking, what is it, experimenting? So even his choice of words are poor. Yeah. And then Rosalie's like, time to stir the pot. Tell him.
Rosalie's just having a great time.
And they let a newborn vampire who's super strong.
Renesmee being able to communicate through touch.
Oh, yeah.
And being like, here's the first thing she ever saw, and it's your like fucking haggard face when you're like,
her first memory of you. Yeah,
it's a bit, fuck me, like.
But yeah, he tells her that he's imprinted, she freaks out, and the whole family let the strongest of vampires, because
like,
she's a
literally
newborn,
brand new,
damage a human, because I assume he doesn't have superpowers really when he's in. Maybe a few benefits.
They are a bit stronger, but and like they do heal fast, but she's really mad.
But they're certainly more vulnerable when they're in human form.
And Jasper's like having a total fucking shit fit.
Jasper's the one who's most concerned, and probably because he knows best what newborns can do.
And what happens? Seth gets hurt.
But like we know that in the last film, because when Jacob goes to tell his kind of lie to let the Cullens escape.
Yeah.
He says, they're like, should we transform? We're exposed. And he says, no, they'll see it as a threat. We should stay in human form, even if it is more dangerous. So it's clearly more dangerous for them to be. So, and he just gets tossed around the place. Yeah. And I can understand Edward being like, look at my new vampire wife beat the crap out of the person who was trying to be a rival for my love for the last 2 years. This is hilarious. But the rest of them should be like,
Carlisle's like, I don't need to be patching up more wounds.
And especially considering the only reason that any of them are still alive right now is because he conveniently imprinted on the baby.
And they should maybe be a little bit. Lives.
Yeah, they should maybe try and save him a little bit more. I understand her annoyance, but like...
I don't know if she's more mad about the imprinting or the nickname.
I'd say what she's actually mad about is when she says it.
I haven't even had a chance to hold her, and you've already got a claim on her.
Yeah, you think your Wolfie claim is more important than me being her mom. I think that's where her real issue is.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
She fought so hard to have the child. Yeah, I got to hold her for like 30 seconds.
And that's my issue with Jacob. Is like, yes, I understand you've imprinted on her and you want to make sure that she's careful, but this is her mother.
Yeah.
Cop onto yourself.
Like... that bond, that maternal bond should be stronger. It should be able to override. Like,
Yeah,
he'd seen
but it's
Edward being able to override the desire to, like, eat her.
Yeah, they're both kind of being assholes.
Yeah.
But she's overreacting only in the physical sense because she doesn't know how to control herself. Yeah. And my issue is with the rest of the vampires and not trying to restrain her physically.
Yeah, and just being like you can hurt him.
Yeah,
you're really
careful.
strong.
Yeah.
Edward's already, like, you've already had this with Edward.
Yeah. Then we get some more birthday nonsense where it's like, oh, it's your birthday. And she's like, I stopped aging 2 days ago. Cop onto yourself, woman.
I stopped aging 3 days ago. And they're like, no. Yeah, because they're inside. And she's like, where does she sleep? Because she's holding the baby. And she's like, where does she sleep? And it's like, Rosalie's like, in my arms or Edward's arms or Esme's arms. Like, the child doesn't sleep lying down.
Yeah. But yeah, they get a new house for their birthday.
I do like the house from the outside. I don't know what happened to the inside of that house.
The inside
doesn't fit the outside.
I just like the whole thing about...
it's a nursery for, like,
no,
Esme.
oh yeah,
it's like,
that's obvious.
Shit.
No, the stuff about new vampire couples and how they couldn't stand to be around Rosalie and Emmett for like 10 years.
Oh, Emmett's just such a fucking prepubescent child.
But they couldn't stand to be within like a 10-mile radius of them for the first
gonna
years.
Need to retreat to a safe 500-meter radius.
They're talking about this like new vampire love thing, and then there's the comment about the bed. And I thought we don't sleep as vampires, and he's like, well, it's not the only thing we use bed for. And then they do it on the floor.
You can make a little fort.
Eating, sleeping, and maybe building a little fort.
Hey Marge, I found a turkey.
But so
then they're on the floor, and it's like, yeah, dude, okay.
They have some vampire sex, and then they go back to the main.
She's having the whole thing of like, we don't have to sleep, we don't have to go to the bathroom, like apart from feeding. How do people?
How are we ever going to tear ourselves away from each other? And apparently they don't have to do much because the next morning they're just like, let's go to the main house for breakfast.
Yeah, well, probably more you want to go see the baby because the baby's not there with them.
Yeah, Emmett's a horn dog.
So he's like, oh, you're done already?
Yeah, he's just a dirty horn dog.
I love Emmett. He's just that fucking dude, not the time.
Well, we don't get any backstory for him.
No, he's just.
There was no backstory for him. No backstory for Alice. No backstory for Esme. No backstory for Carlisle, really.
Yeah, he was just like, he was a farmhand who got Rosalie found him being mauled by a bear.
Oh, and she turned him?
No, she brought him back to Carlisle.
And Carlisle turned him?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because she was like, Daddy, I want him.
Yeah, I want this horn dog farmhand.
This big burly, with a set of overalls getting fucking fucked on by a bear.
Maybe that was it. He did pretty good against the bear, so they were like, yeah, we'll take him.
That really, revs her motor.
But anything revs Emmett's motor because he just wants to talk about sex all the time.
Maybe Rosalie ain't that good.
Charlie calls the house. Well, if the phone rings and...
because Charlie's been they still haven't told Charlie anything, and Bella's technically been dead for the last 3 days.
Well, I mean, they are in an awkward position of like, it's not our place to tell.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, we're going to tell... It's my place.
Well, they're like, we're going to tell him and we're going to leave. Like, she can't. We're going to tell him that she died and we're going to leave.
We're going to leave because she can't be around, be seen.
Thingy's like, what do you mean you're going to leave? And they're like, well,
yeah, Jacob's like, oh no, my child bride thing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, no, you can't do that. So he takes it upon himself to go confront Charlie in the woods.
And have a strip show for him.
And Charlie's just like, what you doing there, son? You want to put them pants back on?
I appreciate the fact that it's probably one of the better bits of dialogue in the film. As he's stripping and he's trying to say, the world isn't...
She's had to change.
No, but it's all the world isn't what you think it is and stranger things have happened or
Charlie's
happen every day
just
as he's continuing to strip, and it's like...
Poor Charlie's just like, I've known you for a really long time. You want to put your pants back on?
Yeah, also, you're still a minor. Like,
yeah, I don't...
please put pants on.
I don't want to be here right now.
But then, it turns into a giant wolf and scares the fuck out of Charlie.
But, it's a really... He's like, oh, I didn't tell him what you are. I told him what I am, but he knows that you're something different. And I like the fact that Charlie just accepts the whole, I shouldn't ask questions and just be happy that my daughter is here.
I feel like they could
Charlie lets a lot of shit go for the sake of having them in his life.
They could probably dwell on it for a second or two longer.
Also, Sue's probably a great aid because there's that bit where he turns around to Sue.
Fill him in on all the...
Yeah, but there's that great bit where when he turns around to Sue and is like, she's half a foot taller, and Sue's like, puts her arm on his shoulder, like, just go with it.
Just go with it. Yeah, because he says the thing
and he's like,
her.
she's not weirded out by it, so her kids are werewolves. Kill.
Yeah, so I'd say she probably does smooth over a lot of the waves for him, but I think that maybe they could have dwelt on it for just a hint longer. Because she doesn't even say, she comes close to it, but when Charlie actually, because that's the whole thing, Jacob shows Charlie that he's a werewolf and says, look, come on over and see Bella, but she is going to be different. He comes over and sees her, sees that she's different and wants to know what's wrong. And she won't tell him, but she comes close to, but doesn't actually say, I can't tell you because it will put you, if you know it will put you in danger. I'm not in any danger and you're not in any danger, but if you know, you will be in danger. He's a cop.
Yeah.
He'll understand. And I think you said that's more or less how it goes down in the books. She does say, look, it's a safety thing for you to not know. It's dangerous for you
to know, like people who find out about.
But the closest she comes to saying is, can you just trust that I'll tell you everything you need to know?
Yeah.
Which is just kind of infuriating to hear as well.
Yeah.
Especially when he shows up when they show up with like an obvious toddler that looks like the both of you that's supposedly his niece that you've adopted. Because he's even like, hey, look, she's got your eyes. Don't know how that makes sense. Yeah, but whatever.
But that's it. He's like, she's got your eyes, Bella.
But I think it is. He's just like, yeah, look, I thought I lost you.
But
and
you know what?
He acts it really well when Jacob comes to him and he's like, Bella's, and pauses.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you're not saying this to me. Like, he plays that well.
Yeah, poor Charlie. Poor sweet Charlie.
But yeah, I think they could dwell on it for a little bit longer and just so that show that Charlie had, because when she shows up later on to be babysat or whatever by them, and there's the whole, you're like a half a foot taller. She's like 2 foot taller, dude. Yeah. Like, he still looks kind of confused. I think, maybe just dwell on that a little bit longer to let us know Charlie's confused but okay and accepting.
Yeah, but Sue's just like, it's okay. Well, I'll explain later.
But that's I think it's at Charlie's visit that we see the first really free CGI freakiness in the baby.
Yeah.
They have a bit of an arm wrestle.
Well, there's the really funny bit before that when Charlie's coming over where they're coaching her and they're giving her like contact lenses.
Oh, how to be a human.
And breathe and fidget. Like, you don't have to hold your breath, but move your shoulders.
I'd imagine that's one of those things of like, don't think of purple elephants.
Yeah.
Because like,
because no, they've made it. There was a comment made in the books that they tend to vampires. They don't sleep, but they do go into like a down mode.
Yeah, and
they will just be like perfectly still, and their brain alone. It's kind of like a hyper awareness, but like higher function, like shuts down.
Oh, like a mini hibernation type thing.
Yeah, just to process information and stuff like that. Your brain does need to switch off to do that. So they use these long periods and they won't move, and it's like as refreshing as sleeping.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, no, I just think it's one of those things where they're like, don't forget to blink. I don't think I'd ever notice if I'd been having a conversation with somebody and they didn't blink unless they were staring right in my face the whole time. But yeah, so he buggers off and she decides that she wants to test out some of her powers and she arm wrestles with Emmett.
Yeah, because Emmett, she's like, right, Emmett makes some other like lewd comment and she's like, right, that's it, you, me, outside, sort this out. And everyone had kind of been like, when you turn with you, go on, Emmett,
kick his ass a little bit.
Go on. Because he's the strongest one in the house, go on, he'll bring him down a peg or two, it'll be funny.
And she wins the arm wrestle and then starts punching holes in the rock and then runs off in the forest to have a bit of a glitter. What she does, she goes out into the sun and is like, look at me, I'm sparkly.
At least they toned down the sparkle.
They do, and they don't. In fairness, after
they don't really,
Edward's attempted sparkle in Italy, they really don't focus on it too much, which I'm happy with, because glittering vampires, sparkly vampires is really just one of the stupidest things in the world. I know. And like, what about fake tan? Would fake tan not like
cover it up,
and then you could just be a tan person and you don't have to worry about being. It's like Blade in the sunscreen.
I love that bit.
Yeah.
Like they're still covering full motorcycle. Well, no, there's the bit later on when he has the kid.
Yeah, and he's got in super...
Fucking super goth factor 100.
Yeah, but
the stuff that they use.
But with really, really, really heavy fake tan, not...
Cover up the sparkle.
Yeah.
They'd be fine now because dewy skin is in.
Anyway, away from sparkling vampires, CGI baby goes for a play date.
With the wolf.
Yeah,
they settle into life. Life kind of seems to do the thing. You've got, the Volturi haven't made any decisions or anything like that.
Well, we haven't seen them until after
They've been notified, like they'd already done their due diligence and notified them that
she was turned. That
was all they wanted to know. And there's a thing in it where they send, I don't think they had it in the last movie, that the Volturi send her a wedding present. And it's this obnoxiously large diamond on like a choker.
Yeah.
As a like warning, and they're like, and it's like, here's a wedding present into your future, your joining of the family. Also we're watching you.
Oh right, yeah. We know you still haven't turned her because you haven't told us.
Yeah, but here's a wedding present to know that we are keeping an eye on you.
Irina, is it?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, one of the Alaskan vampires.
The bitter one that was like Laurent's fella.
Yeah, Maggie Grace.
Yeah.
Maggie Grace sees baby flying in the air and is like, holy shit, they've got a vampire kid.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I better go.
They're already friends with the werewolves, like, which is bad enough as
and
far
the werewolves
as I'm concerned.
The werewolves killed my lover. Let's go and
even though he was actively trying to hunt down my friend, my cousin's future mate.
But at the same time, she's kind of just doing what she's supposed to.
Yeah,
like it's a suitable way for her to get get her own back or whatever. But at the same time, it seems like vampire kids are a big fucking risk.
Yeah.
If you want vampires to stay secret.
Yeah.
So she kind of, like, from their point of view, did the right thing.
Yeah, she went straight to the Volturi. Like, even if
maybe she should have gone back to her own clan and been like, hey, did you know that the Cullens have a baby vampire?
Yeah, because we are associated with them quite closely.
And we already had issues with baby vampire, as we discover.
Yeah, they have that whole thing, and it's like, yeah, I would have gone back to the sister, back to there and been like, the fuck that I just saw.
Yeah.
We should go, like...
And then, then
at the very least, give Carlisle a phone call. Like, Carlisle. That's the thing that doesn't get me. It's like, Carlisle was there when it happened
if she had gone back to the other clan in Alaska, they probably would have said, well, hang on, before we go to the Volturi,
we'll give them a courtesy phone call.
But it's just, it's not like she knows, like, all I'm saying is I'm trying to give them a little bit of credit for being somewhat subtle. That it's a believable choice, and it's not her just being contrived and looking for an excuse.
Really high, and it's like, oh, fuck me, and I know what happened last time this happened, and the Volturi are already on their case.
Yeah, so immediately Alice has a vision.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get the vampire babies explained to us.
Yeah, because they explain it to her. And
I liked that.
Flashback?
That little flashback of the baby having destroyed the village and Jane just being like, you naughty...
Baby in the fire!
Even just the way she picks it up and she's like, tut, 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 naughty baby.
Yeah.
And then, when she throws the baby in the fire, it's just like, yeet.
It's the fucking... What's that comic is it in Squee? The lady with the...
No, for me, the lady throwing the baby, the doctor throwing the baby that explodes.
And she just picks up the little cotton ball?
No, it's Simon Pegg in Big Train throwing the kid on the bike.
Teaching the kid how to ride the tricycle.
Throwing it into the bushes. I like that bit.
I like the fact that all the vampires are really flammable now.
Yeah, it's like...
It was too much effort in the first one to like rip up floorboards and stuff. Now they're just flammable.
Yeah, but sci-fi and fantasy shows are very guilty of that kind of thing, of introduce something once. Yeah. It's somewhat difficult to do, and then the next couple of times you see it, make a bit of a reference to it being difficult, and then after that it's just piss easy to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's fucking some new technology in a sci-fi show or exorcisms in Supernatural that were really difficult in the first season, but by season 10 it's just like, recite a poem and they're gone.
Yeah. Oh no, they finally about season 10 copped to having it on the voice recorder.
Yeah.
I was like, just do that.
But now it's just like rip off the head and put a flame to the exposed neck wound and the whole thing just goes.
Yeah. It'd be more fun if they exploded.
It would be hilarious if they exploded. But we had that in Daybreakers. But yeah,
all the wrong chunks everywhere.
They make a plan then. They're like, let's go. We have a lot of friends. Let's go and get them to come here.
Because the Volturi like to bring witnesses to see they're doling out to take the stories back. It's like the
we didn't just
you don't kill everybody. You keep one or two alive to spread the story of what happened.
Well, but he goes the other way.
They very much use that.
Well, it seems like it's bringing people to witness. It's like, not jury, but like witnesses at a trial, so that they can see it wasn't a kangaroo court.
Yeah, they want to keep their power, but they also have to.
Yeah, they can't just go around showing. Well, and as we discover later, the main reason he does that is so that
he can pick up people with talents
and not be accused of what he's actually doing, which is killing off the covens he doesn't want and taking the people that he does. Yeah. But yeah, they make their plan to go and get their witnesses because they can show.
It's like, we don't need an army. We just need him to stop and see, and they need people as witnesses because Arrow can read minds. It's like, well, if we get a load of people who spend time with her and show, he can see in their memories that she's growing. It's not just them; it's everybody.
And also, if we have a whole lot more people here standing on our side, they might
just stop.
They might pause for a second. Yeah. So it's not a terrible plan. Alice and Jasper run off.
Yeah, because they get the note from Billy. Sorry, not from Billy, from Sam, to be like, we left this with you. And it's like the note from inside like one of the books.
And I'm like,
no. The Merchant of Venice.
No, 50% of my eye candy is leaving. Come back, Alice. But yeah, they bugger off and she gets the note. And the note annoys me, but not until later on. For now, the note is just a note torn out of a book.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And they decide to go...
Then we get the gathering of the witnesses.
It's the kind of montage. First they go to the Denali clan, and Edward is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, because they actually bring the kid with them.
Yeah, we'll bring the kid with us so that we can show them. But what I'm going to do is walk up to them and say, hey, I want to show you something. Don't freak out. Keep an open mind. And that's it. Then he shows them a vampire. He doesn't say, me and Bella have had a child.
Yeah, they're like, why
she's a half immortal. I know you might be freaked out, but I brought her here because I want to show you that she's not an immortal. She's not a vampire baby. Doesn't say any of that. Just says, keep an open mind.
Yeah.
And of course, they see what they think is a vampire child and immediately freak out because they lost their own
their mother.
Actual mother or coven mother to
given
a
the
vampire
resemblance,
baby
I think it was actually their mum.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Because she was like an older blonde lady because they're very, very blonde.
Yeah, I thought that maybe they were supposed to be an actual family.
Whole family, yeah.
But yeah, so they're the ones who are understandably going to be most freaked out by it, and he doesn't give them all the information, and they freak out, and they have a little bit of a scuffle, but then they work it all out. Then we're off to Egypt to get Amun and Benjamin and 2 girls who don't get names.
Yeah.
Then we're off to... So then we get the girls from the Amazon arriving.
There's your man who's in New Orleans.
Yeah, the guy who doesn't like the Beatles. Yeah, doesn't like the Beatles.
It's Ranger version of fucking not Celebrimbor.
Then it's the Irish.
Yes.
Woo-hoo. Then we find out a whole lot more wolves. A whole lot more wolves are basically being activated because of all the vampires.
Yeah, there's like 18 new vampires just descended on town.
Yeah, so there's like poor 12-year-olds from the tribe just turning into wolves.
Leah's still the only girl.
And I'm like, I know they did it so that us on the screen can hear it, but like, shouldn't Jacob have turned into a wolf in front of those so that they could read his thoughts straight away instead of saying to them,
hey, it's okay.
In English, it's okay, relax, I know it's scary. Show them your one as well.
Because he's on his own. So it could be something that he needs them to be in Sam's pack.
Yeah.
He needs them to be over with Sam because he's not responsible for them. He's still got Seth and Leah following around, although they seem to have all sorted all their shit out.
Oh yeah, because somewhere earlier on, I think it might actually be in around there. Because like I said last week, I was like, I assume all the tension between the vampires and the werewolves and Jake in the middle is all not done and has to be resolved. Now, apparently it's just a handshake with no dialogue in the middle of a montage, and that's it. The werewolves are all back cool, squared off together.
Well, like Sam's like Carlisle has helped them. Carlisle will always help them. So he's like, Carlisle's a good guy to have on side, and Carlisle has a good fucking grasp on what's going on.
No, I just, for how much tension there was there, I thought we might have gotten a bit more than a handshake in the middle of a montage.
Yeah.
But apparently we don't have time for it. I'm not overly disappointed. We get a bit of like them testing each other's powers out.
That's so fun because they're talking about
Garrett likes getting shocked.
Oh, he likes
He's
that.
Down for it.
He's like, damn woman.
Yeah, touch me more, please.
Yeah, Alistair's up in the attic being spooky. You've the arrival of the Romanians who are so fun.
Well, I think when they're testing out their powers is when he
starts to come out because he's like, I have no fight with the Volturi and I didn't want to be here. And they all meet the kid and they're all like amazed with like what the kid can do.
Yeah, what the kid can do.
They're like, oh, she's a shield at this point because the
That's when they discover she's a shield. That
showing.
annoyed me a little bit because Edward's like, oh, she's not like any shield I've ever seen. But then the rest of them all talk to her and act her and train her as if she's getting trained like any other shield that's out there. It's like, how is she any different?
They're all like, because I think Kate makes a good point. She was like, when I found my powers, I only had on the palm of my hand.
Yeah, no,
and
but
you have to like concentrate and work and get it. So they're like, it's like a muscle. You have to
but he's like,
it.
she's not like any shield I've ever met. And they're like, can you extend it? And she's like, I don't know. And they're like, well, it sounds like they're like, well, that's a common thing that shields can do is extend. So it was just a weird line to put in there if you're not going to tell me how she's different from any other shield. And then she seems to just act like, well, we've not seen any other shields. But it's just, especially when Arrow was so surprised by her powers as a human.
Yeah,
it's
like,
just,
I can't read your thoughts
it's unnecessarily fudgy and it annoyed me. But yeah, then the Russians show up and the wolves chase them down a little bit. Or Romanians, sorry.
They're great fun.
Yeah, because they weren't
blonde serial killer and like literally knock off that accent so bad.
What, Count Chocula?
Yeah.
Yeah, and his albino cousin. They show up because they weren't invited, but they just want to have a go at the Volturi, basically.
I don't care.
They're like, the Volturi won't listen to words, so you're going to have to fight them. So we're here to fight them because we hate those guys.
Yeah. It's like that little old lady in Father Ted. I don't have a go, or don't care, as long as I can have a go at them fucking Greeks.
And Edward very quickly agrees with them because everybody back in the house, he's like, Carlisle's like, look, we're just going to talk. And Edward's like, no, fuck that, we're going to fight because this is what Arrow does. Like, Arrow just comes along and just takes what he wants.
Well, because that's when they're all like, what's the what's to stop him coming back and taking Benjamin or taking Kate or
Yeah,
taking
it's
all these people with powers like
it's
that.
the let's fight
And
speech.
there's a couple of them as
and
well.
And the
who are
Romanians
like,
just at the end of that scene,
they're
Romanians
like,
are like,
excellent.
oh, that was easy.
Because a couple of them are like, no, we've heard stories, like people thinking back over it and they're like, fuck, that is what's been happening. But
Yeah,
he doesn't do it every time.
Carlisle said, or somebody says, yeah, I had never noticed it
I
as
think
a
it's
pattern.
it's like Gareth or Alistair says it. It's like, I've never noticed it as a pattern.
I think it might be a Mun. Somebody says it anyway.
Yeah.
But
you get the feeling that Amun has hidden away Benjamin for his own.
For that reason Arrow will come and get him.
Yeah, he's mine.
Yeah, speaking of the Volturi, then we see them very briefly with Toshiro in an alley.
Some poor Japanese guy, yeah.
I think it's as much to demonstrate Alex powers, because Alex powers have just been mentioned in the previous scene about like how, you know, we don't have the offensive capability to face off against Jane, and Alex even worse, and then we see why he's even worse. I don't know that he's even worse. Like, losing all your senses sucks, but it's temporary, so it's not painful.
Yeah, because Jane actually causes
Jane actually causes pain, and both incapacitate. So I'd rather be incapacitated in the way that doesn't hurt me than in the way that does.
Yeah, Jane seems to just enjoy it more.
Although maybe Jane can only focus on one target at a time,
whereas Alec
can
just set a whole
cloud of
Well,
them.
you get that whole bit where in the battle scene where it's rolling across.
Yeah.
And she puts
I do like the way
up.
Arrow in that scene just puts the hand up and is like, that's enough now, Alec.
Yeah.
I want to go and talk to him, and I don't want to step into any of your icky black mist, please.
Yeah, thank you. I just love how camp he is. Oh, the camp! He like farts glitter.
But then we cut back to Bella training her shield powers.
Yeah.
And the whole bit with Edward.
Oh yeah, we need to give her some incentive.
Just Emmett, you're not incentivizing her hard enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then
do you want to try?
Yeah.
But yeah, she learns how to extend her shield enough to protect other people.
Yeah.
And then she figures out the obvious note. And that's what annoyed me.
It's ripped out of the book, and I'd be like, hey, that's out of my book.
She's like, Alice left this note for me in a way that only I would understand, because only Arrow...
Yeah,
I'm
he
the
can't
only
read
one
my
who Arrow
brain.
can't read my brain, so she had to leave the note for me. But the way in which Alice chose to leave the note for her was by tearing a page out of a book from their library.
Giving it to
first
Sam.
thing I would do when I got that back and saw, hey, look, it's from the Merchant of Venice. Let's go see if it was taken out of our copy of the Merchant of Venice, and then see the other note. And not Bella. Anybody in that house could have done that. Anybody could have done that who read the note would have went, oh, let's just go and like, Alice is a smart girl. Let's go and have a look and see if there's anything more to this. So yeah, it annoyed me that Bella was like, only I would have gotten this. No, why? Do you have some special bond over Shakespeare? No. This is your bush?
Do you have a special bond with this bush? And it's go see a guy called J Jenks, who is a document forger. Who's had the pleasure of working with Mr. Jasper.
They drop freaky CGI baby off with...
Yeah, that's where Charlie has that whole
Charlie's
moment.
Like, you've grown a whole fucking half foot. As I said, more than that.
Yeah, well, because they're like, well, Charlie can't come out to the house now because there's a whole load of vampires there.
Yeah.
Why eat them? So she goes off to see this guy who's a
J
document
Jenks.
forger. And
who was... I was like, I know him. He's the Homeland Security guy from Hackers, as we discovered.
Yeah,
I was like,
poor
oh, fuck
bastard.
yeah, it is him. He's not aged a day.
No.
Since fucking, what was Hackers, 94?
That's because Black don't crack.
96? But, like, he's not aged at all.
No, that's because he ain't white, because we go off like yogurt.
Yeah. He is a very smart individual who knows he's working with some sort of supernatural being and doesn't fuck around.
He's he's obviously, very good at what he does.
Well, as you pointed out, though, he's obviously a horrible individual.
Yeah.
Because he got a passport for a child. No questions asked. Just took a payment. Got it. Like, that's dark.
That's some fucked up shit.
That's dark.
Yeah.
Like, that hadn't occurred to me in the first watch, and you were like, he's a bad dude. And I was
made
like, what do you mean?
He's
made a passport for a baby, and I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, that's dark.
Well,
that
I think
dark.
they've aged, I think they're like, put her as being like...
Still a child.
But under the age of 10, and for somebody else who is clearly not related to her, but they will be travelling as father and daughter.
Yeah, like that, and he asks
to
no questions.
Rio.
He's a bad dude.
Birth certs, passports.
Yeah. He's very careful, but yeah, he's a bad dude.
He's not a good man. That was the thing that annoyed me, because they dressed it up in this, and he's in a fancy restaurant, but in the book they go, it's like a really run down part of Seattle.
It's seedy and shit.
It's real fucking seedy, and he's in like this little office that he like, it's not even under his name kind of thing. He's like, I'll meet you here at this time.
Yeah, I think they tried to play it in this like, he's got a good working relationship with...
Oh no, your man does have a good working relationship with Jasper, but he's real fucking...
but
still dodge.
So because he's got this good working relationship with him, and he understands a little bit about what he is, I think we're supposed to understand that maybe he knows a little bit about what's going on in this situation, so therefore he's not a horrible bastard who's okay with child human trafficking.
No, he's a human trafficker.
Whereas he absolutely is. The
He's
implication
a document forger. He
yeah.
works with a seedy underbelly, and he
So I appreciate that in the books they have actually done it, because the implication is kind of clear, even if I didn't pick up on it
and in
the
the
first
book
time.
as well, because in this Alice is the one, or Mr. Jasper, she's like, Mr. Jasper arranged all the documentation. In the book, she's the one, which I think is really important that they left out here, because you get the moment where she's like, oh, it's only two of them. And it was like, we thought, my husband and I.
Yeah.
Originally, she goes to get documentation for the four of them.
And she's the one who decides.
And she's the one that makes the decision that she's like, no.
She's not just following Alice's plan. She's actually making choices about her own life kind of thing.
She's the one who makes the decision. She's like, actually, no. And I think she passes Jacob off as like her brother. And is like, my brother will be accompanying my child. So it's like, she was like, but we'll have them travel as father and daughter because we're my family. She basically is like, my family is being pursued. And she gives him the story, and he's because he's a little bit uneasy with the fact that it's for a kid.
Not in this. No, they get the two passports in this for, as you said, for Jacob and for Renesmee. And they head back to town, and it's time for the war stories.
Because she's the one that decides on Rio as well, because she's like, we'll send them to Rio.
Well, that makes sense, because they
can go out to the island, but then the Volturi probably... But I don't think he knows about the island. I think she leaves. She writes letters and stuff and is like, it could have directions out to the island.
Doesn't matter. They don't end up going there. We get the war stories bit back and forth with
That's
sitting around the campfire.
This close to fighting General Custer.
And there's a reference to the 11 Years' War in Ireland, and both of us were like,
11 Years' War?
Well, we don't know it as the 11 Years' War.
Yeah, no, Cromwell.
We know it as when that bastard Cromwell came over. And also because
it started just before the Cromwellian Wars, but it's kind
two wars that gets
mushed
called
together.
The 11 Years' War, but over here, we in Ireland, and when we're taught history of it, we have different names for it, and it's the Cromwellian invasion.
It's not a war. It was an invasion.
But we know it as when that bastard Cromwell came over.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
Isn't that his head? No, that's Oliver Plunkett's head is in Drogheda Church.
Oh, if only it was Oliver Cromwell's head. Yeah, so they have their bit about war stories, and the Russians tell their bit about the Volturi reckon their shit.
No, I love why are they Russian? They're Romanian.
Look, their accents are so fucking bad. That's why I keep calling, because they're shitty Russian accents. They're not shitty Romanian accents.
But I like their story about how they sat and we worshipped as gods, and they became really still, because it was like, oh, that's what happened to Akasha. And they can't, like, that they solidified basically so much more happy to just be like worshipped and stuff. And
they
that
still
the
need
Volturi,
blood, though, don't they? Because at least in Anne Rice, that she petrifies because it's kind of because she's not getting any of the blood.
Whereas then you've got the blood god up in Tibet, who still looks human because he's so gorged with blood. He's got like a flush to his skin. No, I just like that the whole, it was like, we actually owe them a thanks for shaking us out of it, but we're still going to kill them.
Yeah, they still wrecked their stuff, but they gave us a new zest for life.
Yeah,
or
a new
death,
zest
basically.
for wrecking shit.
But then pretty much the Volturi show up.
With a big old line of people.
Irina immediately realises she's on the wrong side when she sees her family there, and is like, oh, did I fuck up?
I fucked up,
didn't I?
I fucked up.
Quickly realises that she fucked up because...
well, no, like, she's like, look, they have, like, they're even stood here with the fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like, she is justified in that, like, where she's like...
No, it's just the look on her face when she realises that her family are there, and is like, oh crap, maybe there was more to this than I thought.
Oh.
I also like the fact that the Volturi are given pause when it's just a bunch of vampires on the ice, and then a bunch of werewolves walking beside them, and then all the Volturi are like, oh, hold up a second.
Yeah, because they weren't stopping.
Let's stop here and reassess for a second.
Then you have to comment at Carlisle. He's like, Carlisle?
Yeah,
and then, well, now he's like, Edward, I'm assuming the child, you have something to do with this. If the child is clinging to your newborn, or the abomination is clinging to your newborn mate.
Yeah, and it's like, look, Arrow, come and have a look. You can read it off me. Yeah. And then
Edward offers the hand.
Yeah, then he wants to read the child, but the child is like, nah, look, I can show you instead.
Oh, and then it's the giggle.
Well, no, so the giggle comes before, I think.
Face.
The giggle comes before they actually touch, but
when he goes, I'd like to meet her.
The giggle is
the way when after he reads Edward's mind and he looks around him and he's like, I would like to meet her. Like, and he's just laser locked on.
Just his little giggle, and then she touches and shows him.
Yeah, and he's like, oh,
magnifico. It's just brilliant. He's so good. And then they're like, well, fair enough, that sorts it out, but you still have to pay the price, Irina, because you brought us here and made us look stupid.
Yeah, false claim.
They kill her.
the two
The two
sisters
sisters try and
Garrett
kick shit
does
off.
try and stop Kate. She buzzes. She does. He hangs on to her.
Oh yeah, he does a good
Mind
job.
you can't really let go when you're being electrocuted, can you? Because your muscles. He arm locks around her. So every time
he's gonna clamp up.
He's clamping up on her. That's actually the smartest thing to do because he does wrist lock, and Emmett like rugby tackles them as well.
They managed to get the Amazonian one to blind,
take their sight.
Yeah, to blind them.
Because at least they can't run at shit then. And you've got Maya and Byrne fighting and the eyes are just flicking like all over the place. And she's like, let me go!
But, you see that was kind of probably Arrow's backup plan anyway, as he just wants to goad them into a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he's doing everything.
He just keeps pushing them for finding reasons.
He's like, well, we don't know what this is a new thing.
Before that, I think Jane tries to put the pain on Edward.
Yeah.
And it works for a second, and then it doesn't, and Edward just gets up and walks back to them, and he's like, damn, plan C didn't work of gauging.
And then he has the magnificent of, well, it's new, and we don't know, like, our ways have worked because of tradition, and being all the same. This isn't tradition, this is brand new. We didn't know this thing could happen.
Yeah, so it seems like he's just gunning for a fight no matter what happens.
Yeah,
and then...
he's been spoiling after them.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Like they're like, because he's like, oh, there isn't, like, he has a look around and realises Alice isn't there as well, and he's a bit like...
but then Alice shows up, and he's delighted.
No, but Alice isn't there, but he's got a new toy to get.
No, but Alice then does show up after all his like various attempts to as he's making that argument about it's new and we can't stand for it. Alice shows up. And she's
like, I can prove the child's no threat to us.
Yeah, and shows him
presumably
one hell of a vision.
Yeah, she's like, that's what will happen if you stand against us.
Yeah, it all kicks off, and I'm not gonna go through everything.
Some of them are really good though. Emmett putting his head on the neck and then popping the body off.
That is my favourite bit. Because
normally it's the head popping off. This is the other way around.
Yeah, he doesn't rip a head off a body. He rips a body off a head.
I know.
And it's just fucking excellent. I really like it.
And the wolves are having a fucking fair old time, and there's like Felix getting done, people getting their arms ripped off.
We see Bella getting stupid strong.
Yeah,
and then she
is still like in newborn stage. But
I had a realization, and I got really annoyed because I realized that I quite liked the whole thing about the newborns being strong in the third film and making an army out of newborns because they're stronger and then killing them off. I was like, that's all really cool ideas, and then I realized it was all just set up
for her
for one reason, and that reason being it gives Bella an excuse to kick ass in the final battle, because otherwise we'd be like, why is she able to kick the crap out of people?
Yeah.
But no, it's because of this newborn.
Yeah. But the rest of them, they've been around for a really long time, and up until like any vampires,
are skilled and know how to use how to fight.
Like realistically, any vampire that was turned like prior to the 20th century would have probably been involved in wars or something like that.
Yeah,
would be more skilled with hand to hand.
But yeah, she's still effectively a 17-year-old girl who's never been in a fight in her life because she's lived in...
probably doesn't even know how to throw a punch properly.
Yeah, so she had to find some way to make her be able to take part in the fight.
Training her as well.
No, but like just...
because Esme's got
from a book writing point of view, if you want to have her be able to kick ass in the final fight and not have people going, well, that's a bit lame, you need to have an excuse for it. And it just so happens that the excuse for it is one of the things that I really enjoyed in one of the previous films, and it's been retroactively ruined just so she can be the best vampire ever.
Caius's death, I think, is I enjoy that when Maya Byrne rips his face clean off.
Yeah,
she
and
gets him by the jaw and the two jaws, and then just pries them apart.
Yeah, that's particularly nice.
Marcus's death cracks me up just when he just stands there and puts his arms out and goes, finally.
Seth just falls into a hole.
Yeah.
I don't know, Seth just gets killed and Leah just falls into a hole. Edward falls into the same hole but doesn't die.
Benjamin takes way too long to crack out the land moving powers.
It was like when we did Superman, Batman, Apocalypse.
Yeah, anybody who died.
Anybody who died.
All those Amazonians' deaths are on you.
Yeah, anybody who died up to the point where Benjamin cracks a hole in the ground and makes this big canyon appear with lava 50 foot down it. Anybody who died prior to that, it's all Benjamin's fault.
Yeah.
He should have done that before the fight started, and then there would have been a big canyon between the two opposing forces, and anybody who wanted to jump over from the Volturi side would have had to do it kind of one or two at a time, and it would have been easier to take them down. But no, Benjamin waits until fucking halfway through the battle
and gets all like upset about it. And he's like, oh no. I was like, dude, you could have done that at the start and just like given them a safety barrier.
Marcus's death is pretty fun.
I love
because he's just like,
death.
finally, the sweet embrace of death.
Yeah.
Give it to me. as the two Romanians tear him apart.
Yeah.
And then Arrow dies and the vision is over.
Yeah, and she's like, this is what will happen.
Yeah, this is what will happen if you continue down this path. And
he's like,
she brings
shit.
She brings out the other hybrid.
Yeah.
From Brazil, who...
He's part of the tribe that the
Takuna.
The Takuna, it's the maid or the housekeepers were, she was Takuna tribe.
Yeah, and he says...
So they have legends of this.
Yeah, he says his mother was seduced by a vampire and died giving birth to him, and his aunt took care of him, and then I was like, how's your aunt still alive? I turned my aunt. Alright, fair enough.
Yeah.
And...
I think he turns her by accident when he's like a kid, because he bites her.
Oh, right. But yeah.
Or like he bites her as a baby, I think, and she turns and then helps raise him.
So I'm curious.
It's a really sad fucking story.
Does like she turn into another...
She turns into a regular vampire. She's a regular vampire.
Oh, she's not a hybrid.
She's a regular vampire. It's like, yeah, it's like her. She tells the story, like they get part of the story in it that the mom was like, she was like young and seduced away by this mysterious guy, and kidnapped and then held captive for the entirety of the pregnancy and didn't survive.
New headcanon. It was Edward. This is what Edward does, and he's really annoyed that Bella survived because he's like, oh fuck, now I'm stuck with her. Oh, the last time it worked out perfectly. I seduced her. She gave birth to a fucking hybrid like I wanted, and then I ran off and left the hybrid alone. And this is his thing. This is what he does. This is how he gets his kicks, and now he's stuck with forever Bella.
Because there's the thing where
that's my headcanon.
Where Bella gets a bit freaked out by the way he's looking at her, and she's like, "What's his problem?" And he's like, "Well, he sees what his family could have been." Oh, and he also gets a bit weirded out as well because she's like, he's looking at my daughter, and he's like, well, she's the only other one of her species. And
Jacob's like, she's spoken for.
Yeah, Jacob's like, she's mine, thanks.
Although we did also have the other realization that he stopped aging when he was 7 and looks like an adult and is 100 or whatever now, so he's immortal. Yeah. So we were like, poor people that get imprinted upon and have no choice. At least Renesmee only has to outlive.
Yeah, we're Jacob. Like, she's immortal.
She's immortal. She just has to outlive Jacob, and then she can just go off and be with whoever she actually wants to be with, and not the weird werewolf that imprinted on her.
Yeah, she just has to outlive Jacob. That's all she has to do in this life.
Yeah, so that's enough to convince Arrow.
Yeah, he's like, do you know
Caius is immediately like, that's some bullshit. We want to attack them, right? Yeah. And Arrow's like, no shut up, listen. And I would have loved if Arrow just turned around and was like, he turns around.
Died first.
Yeah, he turns around and is like, don't push it, or say, I can't remember what he says, but if he just turned around and just says, listen, you died first. Then Marcus died, then I died. We're not doing this. At least not now. And that's basically it. Yeah, they're not doing it, and they leave. And it's all kind of the happily ever after stuff now. Alice,
you get the little
Alice
vision.
has a little vision of their happily ever after, of grown up Renesmee and Jacob together, and Edward and Bella are there, and it's all happy families. Yeah. And then we get the final film of the scene, which I had two thoughts about. The
final film of the scene?
The final scene of the series. Yeah. Sorry. Where Bella shows Edward.
Oh, yeah, she's like, let me show you this.
I've learned how to lift the fog shield off my brain and the shield and show you my thoughts. And I had two thoughts. And the first thought was, that's actually kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Like, for everything that's going on and for this film, for the context of it, that's actually quite a sweet ending. And that thought didn't even last that long in my head before another thought rudely intruded upon it, which I much preferred, which was how funny would it be if Edward went, oh my God, Bella, is that what I was like? Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I was such a stocky, obsessive, controlling. Oh my God, now that I've seen it from your perspective. Why did you stay with me?
I really wish they'd put in him, like, her first encounter with him in that montage where he, like, is like, fuck the smell.
Yes.
I really wanted that one to be in there. I was like, if you're going to put in the highlights.
How funny would that have been if you had just been like, oh my God. Because when somebody, when you hear yourself recorded for the first time, you're like, oh my God, that's what I sound like. Or you see yourself on a photo and you're like, that's what I look like. But yeah, if he was just like, oh my God, what sort of clingy, crazy asshole am I? All the mixed messages I gave you, Jesus, I'm so sorry, man. But no, it is, I will say it's a sweet way to end the film.
Yeah, like, it's like, from the start it's always.
And a sweet way to end the series. And it's over.
Yeah, it's done.
And I'm glad it's over. I will say I enjoyed the final fight, because it was actually a fun fight scene. Like, because the third film was a good-ish film, but the big fight with the newborns, I didn't get enough of it. there was plenty that you got to see in this. There were some really nice deaths and stuff in the action. So the action side of it was good. There was an actual plot to it. I would say, for me, in order of ones I found least offensive, I'd say this, then the third one. Oh, I know she cries a lot, but probably then the second one.
Just because Jacob and the werewolves are fun.
Then the fourth one, and then the first one being the worst for me.
The first one is
I really just couldn't hack that first one.
The first one is
terrible.
Actually is just that was the thing. Like when you look at the cast and everything for it, and like all the people that worked on it, it's like this should have been a really good film.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it a really good film?
Well, and I don't know that you could make it a really good film, to be honest with you, because it's the establishing film of the series. Like, you know, if it was a standalone, there might have been ways you could make it slightly better. If it was a standalone, I don't know that it would be worth its while either. But it was my least favourite of the films. I mean, look, I said at the start, they weren't made for me.
No, they're not.
We did it for something to do, for a way for you to torture me.
Yeah. I will say though, The Host is a better film. It's actually a better book as well.
Yeah, they made that's right. I'm vaguely aware of that. I haven't seen it. You've seen it.
I've seen it, yeah, because I read the book and was like, the book's actually better. Because I was interested to see, because it's more sci-fi.
Yeah, but like overall, they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be.
They are bad though.
I knew they were bad, but I was expecting them to be the same level of bad as the first one the whole way through.
No, they actually do improve, but I think that was just, you know.
The dialogue does get slightly better as they go on. There's still some ridiculous choices in it, but they get better as they go on. When we watched this online, I'm not ashamed to say I was not paying for this. It's up on YouTube, and all the comments were nearly all still really positive. And from the last year or two, people being like, you know, watching this in 2023 for the 23rd time and still love it. Like, so it obviously does still hold.
Yeah, but there's people who like watch The Notebook over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm sure for some of these people there's a nostalgia element because they watched it when they were a teenager. They watched it in their formative years, and there's a comfort in it. But also there certainly seem to be a lot of people who were just coming back to it, not with that view of I loved it as a teenager, or, you know, that's not the only thing colouring it. So plenty of people seem to think that they're still great films. They just, I don't know, they don't do it for me. If they went, as we said, if they went into like some of the lore and focused on some of the different relationships, but then it wouldn't be Twilight. But then,
no, well, they're doing a TV show of it now, so
there's an animated TV show supposedly coming. I would be curious.
Yeah, no,
I'll give it a shot. Maybe. Well, not straight away. I'll wait and see what the reviews are like. But no, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. There were some things that I did enjoy, and not just Rosalie and Alice's on-screen presence. I liked the Volturi. I really liked the three. I like particularly Marcus and Arrow, and obviously Arrow was just brilliant.
Marcus just being so done with everything, it was like, I feel
there was
Marcus.
I liked the newborn vampire thing. That was cool.
Yeah, no, like there was some really good ideas in there. They were just not fully fleshed out or given enough screen time. Yeah,
but it's like to give them the screen time that I would have wanted would have made them not Twilight films.
Yeah,
and I would prefer a not Twilight film.
Just be glad they didn't make a Midnight Sun.
Is that the one that's from the other perspective?
That's the one from his perspective. Or the gender swapped one?
No, there's a gender swapped one as well.
I know, I don't. That's just weird. It's the one from his. It's the one from his perspective, is Midnight Sun.
The gender swapped one.
Did she write the gender swapped one?
I think so. Ugh. It's Bo. He's Bo Swan and she's Eloise or something like that.
Okay.
It's not quite as bad as like Edwardia or anything like that, but it's not much better. Yeah, no, I don't think I'll be reading the books or anything like that.
No,
I don't think I will be.
The last thing that I read that was anyway related to that was fucking 50 Shades of Grey, and I could have done without that.
Oh, look, I might get convinced. Like, because I will say, I didn't enjoy watching the films, but I did very much enjoy podcasting about them and talking about some of the shit that I found stupid.
There is a fascination with, like, these movies that did, they had this, like, chokehold on, like, a whole fucking group of people.
Yeah, but
it was just, watching it from the outside is very interesting.
While I am sure that the 50 Shades of Grey films are absolute trash, they're not as bad as I was expecting, and I can kind of understand how they have a fandom.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not for me. It is a terrible, terrible love story. Jacob and Edward are terrible people in the first three films. Mm-hmm. They're not much better afterwards.
You've never seen The Time Traveller's Wife if you want a really fucking dodgy one.
Yeah,
I would rather watch this than watch any sort of Nicholas Sparks wankery.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to watch them either.
No.
So I'm probably never going to watch these again. I might sit down at some point if I'm bored and watch the final fight scene from this again.
Yeah, we can get that on YouTube.
I'll start from the point with Arrows laughing at the baby and just watch from there on. And that'll be my dive back into Twilight in the future. But yeah,
also we have a niece who's of age that these are.
I am not introducing. She reads a lot. I am not introducing her to the Twilight
I'm not
series.
going to introduce them to her, but like if she ever was like, "Oh, will we watch it?" I can be like, "No, they're
here
awful."
Are some better. Yeah, and now I can actually tell you
because I end up watching a lot of kids stuff because I have nieces and nephews that are of the age that they're interested in it,
and also sometimes it's just fun to watch.
Sometimes they are just fun. But like a lot of the time I like to be interested in what it is that they're consuming because some of it can be a bit fucking weird. So yeah, I'd just be like, how about no? Let's go watch something.
But yeah, so that's what we should do because I'm glad that we're done with this. I had fun with it though. I won't recommend any of the Twilight films to any of our listeners.
No. However, anything else that the cast have been in, do go watch that stuff. They are all incredible actors. Just not in this.
Yeah. Don't hold it against them that they were in this bad film or these bad films.
In particular, like for Jackson Rathbone, go watch him in Dread. It's the Clive Barker horror.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, people got to earn money.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't blame anybody for their role in these films, especially after how popular the first one was.
Yeah.
Nor would I blame anybody who was in the first one sticking around. They were like, I can get 4 more paychecks out of this. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's the Twilight series done and dusted. Thank you for joining us. I'm not going to thank you for putting me through it.
That's okay.
Because you wanted to see me in pain.
Yeah, I know. And I was very much regretting it by about the third movie anyway.
You wanted to put me through it and you wanted to put me in an intense amount of pain by watching them all. But even still, we are still a better love story than Twilight.
Listen, our cats.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
No, if I could make the cats vampires, I'd be fucking sorted.
Immortal vampire cats would not be a good idea. No, it would not be. And that's a tangent for another day. Guys, thank you for joining us for the Twilight series. We will be back next week with our usual, probably not much better films, but we think they're better anyway. And in the meantime, if you want, you can head back and check out some of our non-Twilight related stuff or our other podcast, Mono Rants the Boys. What else can you do? You can come and chat with us on Twitter at RantsMono while Twitter still exists. You can come and chat with us on Instagram when I'm occasionally there, monorants_the_boys. Or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll catch you all next week. Bye bye.